Okay, this video is going to be on the seat box, the 2-passenger seat boxes they sell. If you're looking to buy one, there's a ton out there, and a lot of them are similar, and you'll see that there's a different brand on it, but it looks identical, and that's just the way it is with these. You know, honestly, they're all probably made at the same factory somewhere, right? But what you want to look for on these is look for one that's got a lot of reviews, and the review is 4 stars or higher, right? And read some of their reviews, because certain machines will be a better fit for certain boxes, let's face it. But if you've got a Sportsman, this particular box fits really, really well. Like, if you wanted to rate this from 1 to 10 on how happy you'll be when you have it on there, I would say it's like a 9, right? I mean, to say it's a 10 would be kind of stretching it, but a 9 or 8 or a 9, and you're gonna be happy with it. The only thing that makes it not a 10 in my mind is that when you go to anchor this on your machine, you can buy the Polaris quick attach anchors, and it's kind of what we did. So when you open this up and you look inside of it to show you how this anchors in here, you're gonna have these anchors. You can kind of see them there. So that is the Polaris anchor system, they call it, for attaching anything to the back of the machine, to the rack area, the flat rack area in the back of this machine. So these are super nice the way they connect. But what you have to do is you have to drill the holes yourself in the actual box, right? So when you say, you know, I've got a Sportsman or I've got a different brand machine, the holes could be different on the anchor system. And so that's why if those holes were pre-drilled, that would be a real nice option, because even if it costs more, I think it's well worth the money, because you don't have to go and mount this yourself. I was able to mount this really easily just because for me it wasn't bad, but for someone who's not handy or someone who doesn't have the tools, this could be a real challenge to mount this properly. So that's why it's not, in my mind, like a 10. The other reason why too is that when you mount this, even with the anchor system, with all the anchors that you can get onto it from Polaris, there's like 6. When you get all 6 on there and you pull up on this, it'll still wiggle in the front. You can see it's moving just a little bit, but this is really strong now. But the reason why it's super strong on this machine is because I had to fabricate at a 7th or 8 anchors total. So you have 2 now in the front. I want to say, don't quote me on the number of anchors, but these anchors in the front are actually you're not able to get this one on because there's nothing there to attach it to from the box perspective. So what you can do is you can put, this is actually, I bought this at Tractor Supply, this setup here. This is something you would use for tying up horses. You know, if you have a horse, you're gonna tie a horse on a line to like a barn so you can brush the horse or whatnot. So this little anchor system you can buy at Tractor Supply, and there's 2 hooks, and they come together with this little union that just makes them slide. You can turn this union bolt and nut assembly, and it actually tightens it or loosens it if you turn it left or right. So you've got an anchor, and you've got an anchor here, and you've got this bolt system here which attaches to the top. And you put a little washer in there, I don't know if you can see that, with the top eye bolt through that washer. And there's a drain on top of this unit, the seat that lets you put this through it. So that is how you get that extra anchor on near where the handle is on this, because the person in the passenger seat, you can kind of imagine, they're gonna grab onto this and they're gonna try to hold on when you're riding. Well, that's a real pressure area. You wanna make sure that's strong. The only way you can get that anchor in there is if you kind of customize this setup here. And this is really cheap and readily available at Tractor Supply. And you can just, you know, put the anchor in, put this bolt setup from Tractor Supply on there with a washer on top of it, and that's it. You do that on both sides. Now this is secure, completely secure. When the passenger is, you know, hanging on in the back, you're hitting the bumps, it's a lot easier. It doesn't actually move the seat assembly in the storage compartment. That is the way to go. If that came like that and the holes were pre-drilled on this, I would say it's a 10. You know, there's nothing else you could possibly do to make it any better. But since the holes aren't pre-drilled and you have to fabricate this little assembly here to get that extra anchor on either side, that's kind of what makes it only an 8 in my mind, maybe even a 9. It's not really a huge deal. But to me, that's what makes it complete.